It started with a sound of glass breaking. Not a loud shatter, more like the delicate crack of something expensive, something that shouldn't have broken at all. The kind of sound that makes your stomach drop before your brain can even name it. I was in the kitchen, rinsing my coffee mug. 11:47 p.m. A Thursday. The house was silent except for the refrigerator's low hum and the rain fingering the windows. That's when I heard it, the faint clink from upstairs. At first, I thought it was a cat. But then, laughter followed. A woman's laugh. Hers. I froze, mug still in my hand. It wasn't just laughter, it was that laugh, the one she used when she was nervous, trying to make someone feel comfortable. I hadn't heard her laugh that way in months. My wife, Claire, was supposed to be on a late conference call with her boss. That's what she told me when she took her laptop upstairs to the guest room an hour ago. She worked in marketing. Long nights weren't unusual. But this laugh didn't belong in a conference call. I moved quietly, every step a betrayal of its own. The hallway lights were dim, the carpet soft under my feet. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself I trusted her. But the human heart, it knows before the mind admits it. Halfway up the stairs, I heard her voice again, low and breathy. Then a man's murmur. My chest went tight. My body started to move on instinct, every nerve screaming but my mind numb, detached, like I was watching someone else's life unravel through a screen. The guest room door was slightly ajar. Through the gap, I saw her, Claire, sitting on the bed, legs crossed, laptop forgotten on the nightstand. She was smiling at her phone, her hair falling forward like a curtain. A man's voice came faintly through the speaker. "Can't stop thinking about you," he said. Her lips parted, soft and guilty. "You shouldn't say that, Daniel," she whispered. "We're already in too deep." Daniel, her boss. I felt something cold bloom in my chest, slow, poisonous. It wasn't rage yet. It was disbelief, the kind that hollows you out from the inside. I backed away before she could see me. My hands were shaking so badly I nearly dropped the mug still in my hand. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed beside her, pretending, listening to her breathe. And that's when I decided to know for sure. I bought the camera the next morning. A small, sleek device, no bigger than a pack of gum. Motion-activated, silent. It was disturbingly easy to find, the kind used for nanny monitoring or home security. I told myself that's what I needed, security. By the third night, it was installed, hidden behind a stack of books on the dresser in the guest room. It watched the bed with unblinking precision. It took 4 days for the first recording to appear. I opened the footage on my laptop in the garage, away from her, the door locked, the screen filled with her image. Claire, pacing the room, her hair pulled back, phone pressed to her ear. Then he arrived. Not in person, not yet. It started as a video call. They spoke softly, their words dripping with a kind of tenderness that used to belong to us. He told her she was brilliant. She laughed, said he shouldn't risk calling. He said he couldn't help himself. It was strangely calm, almost tender, like watching memory from before everything went wrong. And that's what hurt the most. She looked happy. When the call ended, she sat there for a long time, her face in her hands. I paused the video there, her frozen mid-motion, a woman caught between guilt and desire. Something broke in me then. Not loudly, quietly. Over the next 2 weeks, the footage piled up, brief calls, whispers, and eventually a night that changed everything. Friday. I remember because she'd said she was working late. She came home after midnight, smelling of rain and perfume that wasn't hers. I checked the footage the next morning. She wasn't alone. He was there, Daniel, tall, confident, his voice smooth and easy in a way mine hadn't been in years. They didn't rush. It wasn't some impulsive mistake. It was deliberate, intimate, like they'd done this before. I watched for exactly 30 seconds before slamming the laptop shut. I couldn't breathe. My hands were white-knuckled, trembling. I wanted to break something, to scream, to confront her, but I didn't. Not yet. I needed control. That was the only thing keeping me from unraveling, the sense that I could still decide how this ended. I transferred the footage to a flash drive and locked it in my desk drawer. Every morning after that, I watched her differently. The way she moved through the house, casual, distracted, sometimes humming while making coffee. I tried to find guilt in her eyes. Sometimes I thought I saw it, a flicker when I kissed her goodbye, or when I asked how work was. "Fine," she'd say, smiling. "Busy, you know how it is." And I'd nod. "Yeah, I do." But every night, I'd sit in the dark, staring at that drawer. My heart was a live wire. Part of me wanted to burn her world down. Another part just wanted her to look at me and tell me it wasn't real. The plan came slowly. It wasn't about revenge at first. At least, that's what I told myself. I just wanted her to understand what she'd done, to see it. But the more I thought about Daniel, his hands on her, his voice saying her name, the more something dark took root in me. So I made copies. 2 USB drives. One for her, one for him. On a rainy Tuesday morning, I slipped hers into her purse while she was showering. A simple label, "Watch me." Then I drove to Daniel's office. I knew the building. She'd taken me there once for a holiday party. I waited in the parking lot until I saw him arrive. He was everything I wasn't. Sharp suit, confident stride, that smug aura of someone who believes the world bends for him. I left the envelope on the hood of his car, and then I waited. That evening, Claire came home late. I was at the kitchen table, pretending to read. Her face was pale, her hands trembling. "What did you do?" she whispered. I looked up slowly. "What do you mean?" Her voice cracked. "The video. Oh my God, Michael, how could you? How could I?" The words came out like venom. "You think you get to ask me that?" Tears welled in her eyes. She sank into the chair opposite me, shaking. "You don't understand. It wasn't." "Don't," I said quietly. "Don't insult me by lying again." For a moment, the only sound was the rain hammering the roof. Then she whispered, "He's ruined. They suspended him. HR got the footage this afternoon. Someone leaked it." My blood went cold. "What?" She looked at me like I was a stranger. "Did you do that?" I didn't answer. Her voice broke. "You destroyed him." I stared at her, at the woman I'd loved for 12 years, the woman I thought I knew. "No, Claire," I said. "You did." She stood slowly, tears running down her face. "You think this makes you the victim? You think you're clean in this?" And for the first time, I didn't know if I was. Because somewhere along the way, I'd stopped being the betrayed husband and become something else entirely. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw a face from across the table. Not angry, not even defensive, just broken. And that haunted me more than the affair itself. By morning, the house felt like a grave. She was gone when I woke up. Her closet half empty. Toothbrush missing. Coffee mug still in the sink. A single lipstick stain on the rim. I checked my phone. 5 missed calls from an unknown number. 1 voicemail. Daniel. His voice was ragged, slurred, like a man unraveling. "You destroyed me," he said. "My wife saw it. My kids saw it. They fired me, Michael. You think you won? You don't even know what you started." Then silence. I deleted the message, but the words stayed. "You don't even know what you started." Days passed. Claire didn't come home. I told myself I didn't care, but the truth was I listened for her every night. The sound of her key, her laugh, even her footsteps. The silence was unbearable. The footage was still on my computer. I couldn't bring myself to delete it. Sometimes I'd open the folder, stare at the file names, IMG_0215, IMG_0223, IEC_0314. I never pressed play. I didn't need to. Each file felt like a shard of glass under my skin. By the 3rd week, I was drinking too much. Whiskey with breakfast, vodka with dinner, anything to quiet the noise in my head. Then, one night, the doorbell rang. It was her. She looked smaller, like she'd been living underwater. Dark circles under her eyes, hair tied back, no makeup. She stood in the doorway, hand shaking around a folded envelope. "Can I come in?" she asked. I hesitated, then stepped aside. We sat at the kitchen table again, same seats as before. The ghost of that night hung between us. She slid the envelope toward me. I think you should see this. Inside were printed emails, dozens of them, from Daniel. The oldest dated 6 months back. The tone started professional, then slowly shifted. Compliments, private jokes, midnight draft with "just between us" in the subject line. Then more intimate messages, coded phrases that now read like confessions. "I didn't start it," she said quietly. "I should have stopped it. I didn't. But he pushed. He knew how to make me feel seen." Her voice cracked. "You stopped seeing me a long time ago, Michael." I wanted to deny it, to say she was rewriting history. But deep down, I knew she wasn't wrong. We'd been coexisting for years, parallel lives under the same roof. Work, bills, routine. Somewhere in there, the warmth had thinned out, and I hadn't noticed. She looked at me, eyes red. "I loved you. I still do, in a way. But you destroyed 2 lives to prove a point." I felt the sting of her words. "You destroyed us first." She nodded slowly. "Maybe, but what you did, it's not justice, Michael. It's cruelty." Her phone buzzed. She flinched, didn't check it. I saw the name flash briefly, Daniel's wife. "His wife's leaving him," she said. "He's lost everything. And now," she hesitated, "HR want to investigate me too. They are calling it mutual misconduct." The realization hit me like a punch. "They are firing you." Tears spilled down her cheeks. They already did. For a long time, neither of us spoke. Just the sound of rain. Again, always rain. Finally, I said, "What do you want from me, Claire?" Her answer was barely a whisper. "Nothing. Just for you to know that you didn't fix anything. You just made sure no one could walk away clean." She stood, slipped on her coat, and left without looking back. I sat there for hours, staring at the empty doorway. Weeks bled into months. I went through the motions. Work, sleep, repeat. Friend called. I ignored them. The house decayed around me. Dishes stacked, curtains stayed closed. Her side of the closet remained untouched, as if frozen in time. One morning, a letter arrived. No return address. Inside, a single sheet of paper. It read, "You don't even know what you started. D." I laughed at first, bitter and hollow. Then I noticed something else in the envelope, a USB drive. I shouldn't have plugged it in. I knew that. But curiosity, guilt, fear, they all fused into something irresistible. The video opened on a dimly lit office. Daniel, seated at a desk, camera positioned perfectly. His voice calm, almost rehearsed. "Michael," he said, looking directly into the lens. "If you're watching this, you should know I understand you. The need to control, to expose, to punish. I've been there. But revenge, it's a disease. It doesn't end with your enemy's suffering. It ends with your own." He leaned forward, eyes hard. "Claire told me she left. I don't blame her. You'll think you won, but when the silence settles, you'll see what's left. A life built around proof, not love." He smiled faintly. "You recorded her. I recorded you." My blood ran cold. The video cut to footage from my own garage, me sitting at the desk, watching their video. My face twisted in rage, eyes wet, whispering to myself. He'd hacked the feed somehow, maybe mirrored the files through her laptop or the same cloud storage. Every secret I thought was mine alone was his too. The screen faded to black. Then words appeared. "You wanted truth. Here it is. We're the same." I shut the laptop, heart pounding. I wanted to throw up. That night, I drove. Nowhere in particular, just away. I ended up by the coast, parked facing the dark water. The rain had stopped, but the world still felt wet, raw. I thought about Claire, where she was, whether she still thought of me. I thought about Daniel, whether he'd sent that video before or after the wreck. Because 2 days later, I saw it on the news. Local executive found dead after scandal. Police investigating possible suicide. They didn't say his name, but I knew. The photo was enough. I felt nothing at first. Then a slow, unbearable weight settled on me. Guilt, grief, fear. I couldn't tell which. That night, I opened the footage one last time. Not of them. Of her, alone, sitting on the edge of the bed before one of their calls. She looked so tired. So human. For the first time, I saw her not as my wife, not as a betrayer, but as someone who'd simply lost her way, and I'd lost mine trying to punish her for it. I deleted every file, every copy. The act felt less like erasing evidence and more like burying a body. It's been a year now. The house is sold. I live in a small apartment downtown, near the river. I don't talk about what happened. I tell people my wife left. That's true enough. Sometimes I dream of her. Not the affair, not the betrayal, just her. Laughing. Sunlight on her face, the way she looked before everything turned sour. In those dreams, I reach for her hand, but she's always just out of reach. When I wake, there's only the quiet hum of the city and the faint echo of rain against glass. I keep one thing from that old life, the camera. It sits in my desk drawer, unplugged, collecting dust. A reminder of what truth costs when you start digging for it in the dark. Because that's the thing about betrayal. It's never just one person's sin. It spreads, like cracks in glass, until no one can tell who broke it first.